Hello, folks. Welcome back. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. And after weeks and weeks of people rubbishing the concept that some South Africans would actually want to come to America to take up President Trump's offer of refugee status, well, something interesting today. Later today on Newsroom Africa, Neil Diamond, who's the president of the South African Chamber of Commerce in the USA, apparently went to the U.S. Embassy, or a delegation from there, went to the U.S. Embassy in South Africa and handed over a list of 67,042 Afrikaners who are interested in taking up the resettlement offer, plus their dependents. Now, conservatively speaking, folks, if we're talking about that number, 67,000, some are probably single, many are married, some families are larger, but let's take an average, number of one applicant, one spouse, and two children. Okay, so number four, let's just go with that. So 67,000, that's close to 275,000 people to the South African Chamber of Commerce alone who express interest in resettling in America. Now, that's interest. That doesn't mean people are going to leave. But this nonsense from Agri-SA, from the Government of National Unity, from members of parliament, from the media in South Africa that nobody's interested in this, that Afrikaners are not interested in, is utter garbage. I can tell you anecdotally from my channel, the influx of people, the tens of thousands of people, the questions I fielded, over 40 to 60,000 people have come on my channel alone, just one little channel here in America, expressing an interest in this and asking questions about the program. Expressing interest and taking up the offer are two different things. And let's remember the program doesn't exist yet, so it may exclude some people when the modalities of it are finally announced, whenever that may be, from the American Embassy and from the Department of Homeland Security and Department of State. In the meantime, Neil Diamond is going on to Newsroom Africa, and he's going to talk about this. It should be fascinating to hear. I'm going to tell you that that's a pretty significant number. I mean, if that in fact is true, and if they are in fact Afrikaners, and if they're in fact white Afrikaners, that would represent 10% of the population of white Afrikaners in the country alone. Again, this is speculative numbers. We don't know. But the fact that 67,000 people contacted the South African Chamber of Commerce in the USA, which is not a body that has anything to do with the refugee officer. It's not the American Embassy. It's not the Department of State. It's not the U.S. government. It is simply a Chamber of Commerce. And when this thing kicked off on a Friday night and I announced it, already people were contacting them, sending them emails. And so they set up the system to let people know about it. And they reported 5,000, then 10,000, then 17,000 people interested in the first 3 days before someone told them to stop reporting those numbers. And I had that scoop with Neil Diamond on this program, and people rubbished him in my chat unnecessarily. They didn't like his origin. It really isn't important. We were trying to find out what was going on. We found out what was going on from Neil, and we went from there. So, folks, this is fascinating development here. I don't mean to give a scoop to Newsroom Africa, but hey, they earned it. They've got Neil Diamond on. I didn't get him back on. I'll try to get him back on to discuss this. But 67,042 names of the people who are asking, that's a lot of people. And by extension, with their family members, dependents, we're talking 275,000 or more. Wow. That is a shocking number, especially when Agri-SA says nobody's taking this up. Well, I guess maybe you're a little mistaken there, or maybe that was just propaganda meant to dissuade or frighten people. The whole story about FEMA tents, I mean, you tell Afrikaners they're going to be in a tent, they're like, hey, a tent, hey, we love camping. You're not going to scare people off with that. Anyway, whatever the case is, this once again is not a pro-departing South Africa video. I'm not encouraging anybody to come to the States. And don't you dare come camp out on my lawn. Get off my lawn. No, but we do like to deal in facts and information that's relevant. And that seems to be the case here. 67,042 people expressing interest from one organization that has absolutely nothing to do with refugee status processing or coming to America. Imagine how many emails the embassy got. No wonder they're not answering any questions. Imagine how many emails they got. This is crazy. Wow. What say you, South Africa? Whether you want to leave or you want to stay, you shouldn't rubbish people. People have to make their own decisions about their own circumstances. You don't live in their shoes. They don't live in your shoes. If you want to stay, stay. If you want to go, see if you're eligible and go. That's your prerogative. If South Africa is such a wonderful place, why do so many people want to leave? I think it's a wonderful place, but these people are probably people who've been denied opportunity. I'm not a South African. I haven't been denied opportunity. So there you go, folks. Wow, this should be interesting, to say the least. All right, South Africa, cheers.